Everybody please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Call meeting order. Roll call.
Mayor Westergaard,
Yes.
Stankamp,
Yes.
Frank,
Yes.
Beckman,
Yes.
Waltman,
Yes.
and Moeller is absent.
Yes. Anyone for public forum? Move on to consent agenda. Motion to approve.
So moved.
Second. Wait. Roll call.
Beckman,
Yes.
Frank,
Yes.
Stankamp,
Yes.
Waltman.
Yes.
Okay, we've got some building permits. Eric, have these all been checked out and you're signed off?
Yep.
Okay. Anybody have any questions on the building permits? Motion?
I do. I handed out a sheet earlier. Keith, I consider you a friend, but to keep everybody, are you putting water, sewer, electric, the whole ball of wax in this thing?
Yep.
Okay, and I see in your building plans, you got 2,400 square feet as living space.
Yeah, that one.
Are you gonna want that when it comes time for assessor to look at that? Just a question.
I think so, we're right, anyway. Carpenter man.
It's 2,400 square feet total.
Total
Of the building.
of the building. But
Yeah.
on that, it says 2,400 square feet of living space.
No. Here you got down 2,400 living. There you see.
Yeah.
I mean, when it comes time
No.
for taxes, you aren't gonna want that,
No, no, it's gonna be what's in design there.
okay? That's gonna be my next deal. Just looking at it, it is 7'11", by 40 feet. That's only 320 square feet, and our code says the minimum has to be 700 square feet. So it's just to keep it fair. I mean, we've
So
had
we
many
can put
shops.
rooms above that and double it. Cause we're gonna put a loft in it anyway, so then we could double it.
Then you could double it, but I'm just saying, to keep it fair
Yeah.
for everybody that's built a house, Randy Schulte, Randy Drost,
Dale Beckman.
Dale Beckman, Dale Weavers, Jim
And
Bender.
occupied. Both of them.
Not the first one. from the beginning.
Sure is.
It is now.
It's been occupied ever since he
It
bought it.
wasn't finished.
He finished it,
He did.
Yeah.
He did.
because I stopped working on it when I bought the other ground.
But to keep it within our code, I'm just putting that question out there because I wanna be fair. What's good for one is good for all.
Yep, so we can double that upstairs. That won't be a problem.
700 really.
You're right, that's what our code says.
Okay.
640 though, if we double it 640, so we just gotta go a little
A
wider.
little bit wider and, I mean,
Need a bigger crapper area.
I wanna keep it
Yep. Okay,
fair. Okay,
yep, we can do that.
okay,
Any more questions? We have a motion to approve the building permits, fence permits, and the concrete permit.
So moved.
Second?
I'll second.
Roll call.
Waltman,
Yes.
Stankamp,
Yes.
Frank,
yes,
Beckman.
Yes.
Thanks, gentlemen.
All right, thank you.
Good luck on your fence. Okay, administrative report?
I don't have a lot. Last week I attended, tourism meeting with the mayor, down in, Manning for a couple of days. It was some interesting material for sure.
Thank you, sir.
And then, I've been working on some state reports, that are gonna be required, and due here before the beginning of December, so I'm trying, to finish working through those. I do wanna make a note that, as I was driving into town this morning, there's a lot of political signs that looks like they went up over the weekend. I'm not gonna ask that they be taken down, but there's a lot of them that are sitting in the public right of way, and technically by law, they aren't supposed to be there. So, just kinda keep a note as if there's other candidates putting them up, you might wanna just remind those that are putting them up, just to make sure if you can get them out of the public right of way, that's better, so.
Very good. Jason,
All
have
right.
any good news?
I always have great news.
Sometimes it comes off wrong. It's expensive.
Yeah. So on the electrical side, we had a hose break on the grappler, so we fixed that. They worked on some pedestals at the campgrounds, fixed a breaker at the campground, set a few poles. We had a corp stop that was ripped off during digging. The guys, I was the only one here, so the electrical guys jumped in and helped me, because I can't run the back and do everything by myself. So they did it very great on jumping in. We have a contractor in town that was hired to do some work, so they dropped some poles. They had a safety meeting. They fixed the sexualizer on South State Road, changed out some reels. We met with DGR over the electrical upgrades, and it was very informational for me, considering I had no clue what was going on. Asked some good questions, and he had some good answers for us. We had quite a few tree branches fall down. Everybody jumped in and started helping. They built an underground transformer, fixed some secondary service, helped us break up the concrete for the valve that we had to replace. They worked with Chad's Plumbing up at Lakeshore Drive to make sure that when they're backfilling the trench, our electrical lines are bedded properly, and they're not just pushing it in, and we're not gonna have an issue, hopefully. Dug in an electrical service on East Shore Drive. Public works side, we started mowing, is it called Outlot 20?
Yep.
We got about 3/4 of the way done, and then something went wrong with the skid loader to where we have to get that serviced. They won't run the auxiliaries anymore, so we're working on that. We thought maybe it was something operator error, but it was not. More tree branches. Worked with the contractor on Lakeshore project, numerous unforeseen items popping up, as you guys are well aware. Worked with the contractor on running lines for the duplex up on A Street. We completed our month-long chloride testing for the wastewater plant, part of our compliance schedule. Discussed a couple things with some residents that had some concerns, locates. Working with the engineer on figuring out the punch list items still for the wastewater plant. The generator specialist will be here on Wednesday to work on the generator after that's not working. SEE has contacted his roof guy, and the whole goal is before the snow flies, they have everything done. New motor at the water plant for the high service pump was installed and is working. Found correct procedures for the tester that we have down there. The ones that we had were not for the machine that we use. So the procedures are still the same on the old machine, but now we have the current ones that actually say for the machine we use. Worked with Nexum on the step feed of the Sagar plant, which is one of the things we're supposed to do. Talked to a gentleman about a culvert out on South State Road. We're working on scheduling our fall hydrant flushing. Working with B&K to fix the punch list items for the North Loop project, which is the sheet of paper that I passed out to you. There's been a little bit of back and forth on that. The contractor thought what he did was sufficient. I do not believe it is sufficient and done to the quality that it should have been. Bob agrees with us, and that's where the letter comes into play on moving forward, so this doesn't just sit out there and linger. With the weather that we have coming in and pouring the new asphalt's not gonna be the proper thing, so doing a cold patch and then they'll come back and fix it correctly in the spring.
So with that, basically what the letter is kind of, what Bob is conferring to is that we kind of do something similar with what we did with the 175 project, is that basically accept the project, but go into a supplemental contract, so that we get that asphalt fixed in the appropriately in the spring, so we can just kind of move on.
Correct. Unless you guys, based off the pictures, thinks that's sufficient, I do not.
That's all that counts.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you're the man on the spot.
Yep, take your recommendation. Yep.
And then the second picture that I passed out that you guys have to share, oh, yes. We had the valves, replaced at the water plant, inside the water plant. And as you can see, the new valve compared to the old valve, because of the scaling, that's what was causing them not to close and cause the stems of the valves to bend, because of trying to force them closed. And then lastly, I am attending a online class for my CEUs and also to be eligible to pass my grade 4 water treatment exam. And that's pretty much all I got, unless you guys got questions.
Just a couple curiosity things. Street sweeper is,
It's been broke. The gentleman was here today. We did get it fixed today, so our goal is to be out street sweeping tomorrow.
then what did we ever find out with the trencher?
We worked on it, we got it running. We also had a guy from Vermeer, the salesman, was here today. He is getting us a quote to fix the parts that are broken,
Perfect.
so we can figure out whether it's cost effective to fix it or.
When I went back into the notes a couple of years ago, it looks like Scott had slated that it was having issues a few years ago, and I didn't realize it.
I believe
but
it was supposed to be
on the- it was on
replaced
the
in
inventory
2017. And then it was nixed off the replacement list. So, that's kind of where we're sitting at. We're waiting for Vermeer to give us a quote on what it's gonna cost to replace everything.
And if it's feasible.
Yeah, cost effective or not.
I just noticed that, I know we were talking about the trencher before, and I looked back at our budget stuff where it listed equipment, it was listed in good condition, so that's what I was wondering.
See, and I would have to look, Dale, because the notes that I found on the inventory report that I have from Scott was that it was not necessarily in good condition, and I don't know how long ago that was. I think that was back in
This,
22, so that's why,
I'm looking at the ones we got this spring, so,
okay.
or, I guess you call January.
All right, I'll have to double check, because, yeah, what I saw, it was showing it, that it didn't seem to be in that good of a condition, but I will double check.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks, Jason.
You're welcome.
Thank you, sir. Okay, Kristen, you must be gonna give the report.
Yes.
Before you start, I wanna make sure I was to tell the council that Julie Clayton had an issue with the police department, and that the chief went down there and she thought he did above and beyond what he should have done, but he fixed the problem, she was impressed.
Oh,
So I want
okay.
everybody to know that.
Sounds good. I don't know what the problem was, but I'm glad he fixed it.
He did a good job.
Chris is at a training this week for leadership. I just got back from field training officer school, so I'm certified to train any new employee, any new officers we get. Other than that, I think everything's pretty much status quo, and we're just wrapping up some of our bigger cases. So that's about it.
Very good. Thank you, sir. Okay, we have a appointment of the reserve officer, Jason.
Can I talk on this before we go into anything on this? I'm already a certified deputy in Buena Vista County. I've done all my stuff. I've been one for 11 years, almost 12. This is we're doing this, or we're asking for this for break glass in case of emergency scenario. I am not looking to be on patrol. I'm not looking to do that stuff. But like last week, Storm Lake had active shooter fake call, and they pretty much rallied all the troops. We have that currently. If we have that here in town, we have one officer, maybe two, that are responding in a very quickly, timely manner. This gives a third officer if we should ever get into that scenario. I am not looking to be on patrol. I am just doing it for liability standpoint, to take it away from BB County, where I will still continue to be an active reserve. But if I do have to go out, I'm not putting BB County in jeopardy for anything.
I think it's an excellent idea.
Yeah, no problem. We have a motion to approve that appointment.
Second.
Roll call.
Bill Waltman?
Yep.
Beckman?
Yep.
Frank?
Yes,
Stankham?
Yes. And we have found a patrol car.
Yes, I think Chris, in your packets, you have a sheet. It's like 30A or something.
Yep.
I believe. Talking to Chris and that, Chris would like to do option 1, the Charger and Tahoe. It's just, with recent events, we're down to basically one squad. The white pickup we're using don't have radio cage or anything in it. It's just in case something happens to the black one. And this, we're asking to relieve mileage on the squad cars. The pickup we got in July is already up to about 45,000 miles. We all sort of been using it because of the situation. So we're just asking for the option 1.
How soon would you get the Charger?
I'm not 100% sure on that. That's down in Missouri. We would have to go get it. I'm assuming the Tahoe we'll get relatively quickly.
And that's sitting up
Yeah, we just have to get it decaled and installed. So however long that takes, then we would have it.
what's the reason for going with 2 vehicles to replace the 1?
Well, I know Chris always wanted a third vehicle. And like I said, it's to alleviate the mileage on the current squad cars. And so we don't run into a pinch like we do now. If one goes down, then we have another one.
And we have the new Durango on order, which we're supposed to get in the spring.
We would cancel that.
We would cancel that order, and then basically this would take care of that vehicle, and this is what we would have in our inventory for a couple of years.
Yeah.
And what did we get for insurance on the
I think it's on
14 something?
28. I think it's on the sheet.
Yeah,
I'm not 100%
I haven't
sure.
completely, I mean, the insurance coverage is pretty good. I had sent off what it would cost us to outfit, they still needed that information. So, I think it was almost close to probably $20,000, I think, for total insurance that we would get on the damaged vehicle.
And I looked at that Tahoe this afternoon, it's in pretty darn good shape.
Yeah.
The supervisors will still have to approve, I offered them $20,500 for it. The supervisors, I am going up, I don't know if this will be on their agenda in the morning, but I am going up to the supervisors meeting in the morning, so.
I'll make a motion, we make an offer on the Tahoe of the 20,500 and consider this option 1,
Along with the Charger, right?
along with the Charger.
That's the one he wants, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Second.
Roll call.
Waltman?
Yes.
Beckman?
Yes.
Frank?
Yes.
Stankham?
Yes. Okay, we have, consider a contract with municipal maintenance services, exercise our valves.
This is the gentleman that exercised our valves this summer. All the valves in the street and everything, he's got a valve exerciser. He gives us a detailed report. The contract is for 6 years, and what that is he does half the year in 2020, or half the valves in 2024. He does the other half of the valves in 2025, and then each valve's getting done every year and a half, pretty much, is what's gonna amount to it. We do not own a valve exerciser, and if we had to go out and turn each one of those valves minimum 24 turns, every one of them, we're A, gonna be dizzy and probably fall down and hurt ourselves, and B, the hydraulic machine can put a lot more torque on some of the ones that get stuck that we cannot. it also locks the price in for 6 years. With everything that's going on, prices are definitely going up on everything.
This is that, what we already did once, and now
We
we're
did
just gonna
once.
continue this on, right?
Yes.
I'll make that motion that we enter that contract.
I'll second it. Roll call.
Beckman,
Yes.
Stankham,
Yes.
Frank,
Yes,
Waltman.
Yes.
I think we'll wait for Tracy to get back. Jason, I guess you could explain the change order number 3.
So change order number 3 is what I discussed with all of you guys about moving the manhole to make sure that it is flowing downhill and not uphill, like it was trying to do previously. It was about a 2-inch difference, and where they're going at it, where they should put it at, it should put it right at the direct fall. Yeah, we all know it doesn't flow uphill.
I talked to Jeff Hunt today, who's a previous city employee, and he said they had trouble with that manhole for years. That they always had to pump it out.
That would be why.
Yep.
So it will be at the correct grade, and hopefully, if we ever do have to jet it, it's during our routine maintenance and not a backup into somebody's basement.
Yep.
Have they given you a timetable when they think some of this is available?
They'll have the manhole hopefully set by the end of the week.
Thank you.
They bored the water line in today. Now, boring the water line is an additional cost. However, the contractor is paying that cost because it is saving him time. For the difference from him open trenching the line to boring it is probably gonna save him about 2 days, and time's money, especially when you're in his business. It's still the same quality, everything, so I think it was probably a wise decision on his part, but he should be done with all his stuff, hopefully, by the end of the week, and then 10 Point can come in and start doing what they have to do as far as forming and recompacting everything to put the road back into play.
I'll make the motion that we approve that change order number 3.
I'll second that.
Roll call.
Beckman,
Yes.
Frank,
Yes.
Stankham,
Yes.
Waltman.
Yes.
Okay, we need to pay Healy for the number 2 pay for the bond.
So this is the second application, taking care of the seating and different things as I explained in my notes, in my memo. And I did have a meeting, half of this project, the retention pond project is being paid for with the grant money with, Water Quality Initiative. And so half of this project is certainly getting paid for, and I was trying to find, I think they were telling me about another grant that I gotta see and we gotta report on. So, the people from the Department of Ag
Land Ag Stewardship.
yeah, that's it. They were very happy and pleased with what they saw on Friday when I met with them.
I'll make a motion to pay Ely Excavating.
I'll second. Roll call.
Waltman,
Yes.
Stankham,
Yes.
Frank,
I again oppose the whole project, so I'm voting no.
Beckman.
Yes.
Okay, council is going to close session. Everybody will have to leave the council chambers. The motion to go into closed session.
So moved. Second.
Roll call.
Waltman,
Yes.
Beckman,
Yes.
Frank,
Yes.
Stankham.
Yes.
Is this $1,500 a year for 6 years?
Yes. It's $1,500 every time it comes.
Okay, so these two are kind of,
That's his lawyer.
that's what I looked at.
That's why we pay you, Dave.
It's in our paper, so.
Yeah. I'll have you scoot forward a little bit, Miss Kay, so I don't kick the camera. And I'll be in my office if y'all need me.
Yeah, but anyway, I asked them if they were, I just felt, if they do it, I'll, like I said, I just thought that picture a little more. Because we do that.
But that's where I think we need to be, is our infrastructure, we need to be working on it, because there's more issues down there than what